Has the housing market tide finally turned in buyers' favor? Today, I'll dive into what rising inventories across the US means and zoom into how it compares to San Diego. Stay tuned as I uncover what these shifts mean for you. Big changes on the horizon for homeowners in California. New laws could transform your backyard into a lucrative investment opportunity and help address the housing shortage. Wonder how? Stick around as I dive into the latest on ADU laws affecting us here in San Diego. All this and a little bit more covered in this week's San Diego Market Matters, and I'm Karl Kyler, your San Diego Realtor. Now, if you appreciate the information I provide in these videos almost every week, it'd mean a lot if you would subscribe and like my channel as well. And if you're thinking of selling or buying here in San Diego, check out the link I have in the description below where you can schedule a meeting with me so we can discuss your goals and how I can help you achieve them. Or you're welcome to call me directly on my cell. That number should also be in the description below. Now, let's dig into this. Let's kick things off with a quick market check-in. Mortgage interest rates remained kind of stable around the 7% mark this last week. PCE, the metric the Federal Reserve uses to measure inflation, is reporting at 2.1%. And that's really close to the 2% goal the Fed has had on their target board. And unemployment is still reporting in the low 4% range. So all really good signs despite all the talk of how sensitive the market is to a recession. Now, let's dig into this week's topics. As we step in the later part of 2024, a significant shift is happening across the US housing markets. After years of low inventory that defined the pandemic housing boom, we're now witnessing a gradual rebound. For instance, while the nationwide active listings in 2021 plummeted 53% below the 2019 levels, by October of 2024, they recovered by about 25 to 28% compared to pre-pandemic levels. So we're still below 2019 levels for inventory, just by less than before. This return of active inventory to the market signals a potential easing of competitive market conditions that buyers have been grappling with this entire time. This chart provided by Resi Club tracks the largest 200 metro areas in the nation. Last year, 2023, we had 17 of those 200 markets breaching pre-pandemic inventory levels. Fast forward today, there are 54, and that's a significant increase from one year to the next. And the data doesn't stop there. Here's a list of the top 50 cities with the highest inventory levels above the 2019 pre-pandemic levels. As you can see, most of them are Sunbelt cities with a few others scattered around. I feel like many of the random ones are in the Northwest. What you don't see on this list is San Diego. Now here's another list, and it's the list of the top 50 cities that are the exact opposite. By that I mean they are the farthest from pre-pandemic levels. Most of these are gonna be in the Northeast, again with a few others scattered around. What you don't see on this is San Diego as well. Basic economics tells us that when inventory goes up and exceeds demand, and that's the important part, inventory must exceed demand. Only then will we see prices go down. Now, I'm not gonna speak on any of these areas as to whether or not their prices are going down since their inventory has rebounded, but Realtor.com reported in August that they've revised their previous growth projections for 2024 nationally from negative 1.7% to a positive 4.6%. So despite inventory growth and roughly 7% interest rates, demand in more cases than not is still pushing values upward. Thankfully, more slowly though. Now let's talk about San Diego. Unlike many Sunbelt cities that have seen their inventory swell beyond the 2019 levels, San Diego's recovery has been less exciting. In 2019, San Diego's active inventory sat between 13 and 14,000 homes. And this wasn't a ton of inventory at the time, but it meant that there were still options for buyers to look at. Now in 2024, though we've had a ton of growth in inventory this year, we're still at record low levels. As a matter of fact, both 2020 and 2022 had higher levels of inventory than we do right now. Despite a significant uptick in inventory this year, we remain below the national recovery curve. This slower rebound can be attributed to several factors unique to our city here in San Diego. High desirability and consistent demand due to our favorable climate, strong job markets in tech and biotech, and the limited number of new housing developments due to strict land use regulations. These factors, along with others, combine together like a Megazord from Power Rangers, and they help to keep our inventories lower than many other cities, and this actually maintains our higher property values despite the national trends. Now, thankfully, we have built up more inventory than we had in 2023, which is our all-time record low. San Diego demand still remains robust, again influenced by those desirable market dynamics, which continues to support home values. Now, here's an example of a home that went into escrow that I submitted an offer on for one of my buyers. We were one of 4 other offers on this property that I knew of. Multiple offer scenarios are still happening, though they aren't the majority so much now, but they still are happening. Now, let's put this into context real quick. Yes, we're still way out from pre-pandemic levels with regards to inventory of homes for sale, but at the same time, we're also way off when it comes to interest rates. Rates prior to the pandemic were way different than they are now as well. In 2019, mortgage interest rates were around 4%. So inventory is low relative to 2019, but so are the number of buyers due to interest rates. Despite these changes in inventory and mortgage rates, San Diego's market remains one of the more resilient areas, with less dramatic fluctuations in inventory compared to the broader national landscape. This stability is a double-edged sword, offering fewer bargains for bargain hunters, but more stability in pricing for sellers. Keeping an eye on the national trends is valuable to understand what might be coming our way. That's why I report this stuff to you. Here is what you want to take away from this. People are still buying homes and inventory is still low. If you're expecting a crash, those are 2 major variables missing that makes a crash possible. Now let's hear your thoughts. Do you think inventory in San Diego will recover to pre-pandemic levels in 2025? That would mean our inventory has to go roughly from 5,000 homes to 14,000. If so, where do you think almost 10,000 homes is going to come from? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Okay, now let's talk about how recent California legislation is making it easier for you to not only enhance the value of your home, but also make an extra buck doing so. California's recent legislative changes are transforming opportunities for homeowners and investors, particularly around accessory dwelling units or ADUs. These changes are set to simplify the process, reduce costs, and expand the possibilities for property development across the state, including right here in San Diego. First up, AB 2533, a groundbreaking bill that targets unpermitted ADUs. This new law simplifies the process of legalizing existing unpermitted units, ensuring that they can be integrated into the legal housing market without needing to meet stringent and often expensive requirements for current building codes. Instead of requiring a full compliance upgrade, inspections will now focus on health and safety, making it more feasible for many homeowners to bring their units up to code without the hefty price tag. Next, we have SB 1211, which is a game changer for multifamily property owners. Now, for every existing unit in a multifamily dwelling, multifamily meaning a duplex, triplex, or fourplex, owners can build 1 detached ADU. This means if you own a duplex, you can now add 2 additional ADUs, scaling this up to a maximum of 8 units for larger properties. This expansion can significantly increase the value and income potential of multifamily properties, which is huge for investors. We're also seeing a shift in how impact fees are being applied. Impact fees are the cost to accommodate to public infrastructure that new housing will bring to areas. New laws have eliminated certain fees for ADUs if no new infrastructure is required. This reduction in development costs can make ADUs more of an attractive option for developers, reducing the barriers for both new and existing properties. Moreover, these legislative changes include tweaks in zoning and safety regulations, which now emphasize the safety of a building rather than the strict adherence to the latest building codes, which are almost impossible to meet without spending a fortune. For example, while new building codes might require roofs to support solar, these won't be mandatory under the new ADU regulations unless they're directly impacting health and safety. So what does this all mean for us here in San Diego? ADUs have been getting a lot of heat from the community, suggesting that it brings more traffic to areas, makes parking worse, and intrudes on neighbors' property privacy. These changes could lead to a significant increase in ADU development, offering more flexible and cost-effective options for homeowners wanting to maximize their property's potential, and at the same time, more disgruntled neighbors. The thing is, our housing crisis is a major issue, and though ADUs aren't a complete solution, they're a supplemental option. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this topic. Do you think ADUs are good for San Diego, or do you stand on the side of the unhappy residents of San Diego saying it's ruining our neighborhoods? If you don't mind, share your thoughts in the comments below. It'd be great to hear more perspectives on this very topic. And that's a wrap for this week's San Diego Market Matters. If you found this information valuable, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for the weekly updates on the San Diego real estate market. And if you're considering on selling or buying property here in San Diego, don't hesitate to reach out to me for expert guidance tailored to your needs. As always, I'm Karl Kyler, your San Diego Realtor. I'll see you next video.